Yo, what's going on, man? Today is the 30th of June. This is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA Show where we are live on Twitter, also live on YouTube as well. We have a three-game WNBA slate for today, and then we, of course, will do a quick recap of yesterday as well, go through a couple of the comments as well, and then we will get into the games for today. I did that thing again yesterday, man. It's actually really frustrating. I'm smiling to keep from laughing. I'm laughing to keep from smiling, keep from crying. But I gave out the over in the Aces in the Mystics game, over 171. Looked like it was going to get to 200 points at one point in time. And of course, I tweeted about this yesterday, but the Mystics scored, I think it was 4 points in the last 7 minutes and 45 seconds. So the worst loss I probably could have took. And then the other plays, all the other plays that I talked about on yesterday's show was a winner. Washington plus I guess one of them was a loser, but Washington plus the 8.5 in the first half. They won the first half. And then I also talked about Phoenix first half team total over 45.5. And I'm sorry, not Phoenix. Seattle first half team total over 45.5, and Seattle first half minus the 6. They both were winners as well, but I didn't play them. Just kind of felt like Dallas could kind of hang with Seattle, and I was wrong. Seattle smoked Dallas. Wasn't even really close. I mean, they came out in the first quarter and got a few offensive rebounds and scored some points in the paint, but after that it was pretty much over. Shout out to Seattle. They keep cashing. I keep not playing them. So try to do a little bit better today. It's been a brutal week, honestly. I think we were up close to 10 units before when the week first started, but I'm always transparent. We'll get it back. Like, I'm not too worried. It's just been on the wrong side of some really, really good bets, it feels like, in my opinion, over the last few days. So it is what it is. We keep pushing forward. All the numbers on the left-hand side are updated, though. So we'll take a quick look at the comments real quick, and then we will get into today's games. Let's get this bread. Chris, what's up, HM Bell? Dropping Dime says, happy Sunday to Chris and everybody in the chat. Hope you guys placed that Aces second quarter team total over 23.5, because I forgot to. Yeah, we talked about that as well. The Vegas game went exactly how we scripted it to go. Yeah, definitely a lot of ways, unofficial plays, but a lot of things cashed yesterday like we talked about. What's up, Midnight Toker? What up to my guy Chad in the chat as well? Marquise is in here. Chad likes the Dream plus 14.5. The Lynx minus 3.5 is what he got. And the Mercury minus the 7. Okay, we're going to talk about those. Jay Muse, what's going on? LA in here as well. He said, let's get this money before I go to church. What up to my guy Mark? King says he's coming off major wins from the UFC last night. I want a morning of success. Yeah, I want a morning and a night of success too. What up, J-Rod? He says he loves the content. Appreciate that. My guy Nets Bets in here as well. He says all over New York minus the 14. Hammer spot. Yes, they're 1-10 against the spread. Last 11 is double-digit favorites, but this all boxes checked. Atlanta off an upset win versus the Sun. New York healthy, rested, and pissed since Tuesday. Owned Atlanta all year as is. Yeah, they have. We'll talk about that. HM Bell became a member. Appreciate you. Drez, you got to be new here, man. Where this fool at? Come on, bro. Put you in timeout for making comments like that. Relax, man. Just relax. Get a sip of water. Go walk your dog. I'll be here. You can always watch the show back. The games don't start for a long time, man. Don't come in here with this, though. That ain't what we need. That ain't the energy we're looking for. What up, LF3? Top of the morning to my guy, Justin. Where'd that comment go? Must have skipped me over. Oh, here we go. What up, Justin? Life's a drip in here as well. Some usual suspects. What's up, Michael? Rockstar says Stephanie Dawson, Mystic threes over game and cash. He hit 5 yesterday. Stephanie Dawson hit 5. And we talked about it on the screen yesterday. A lot of people I don't think it was a lot, but somebody mentioned it. And I said, Kia Stokes, Asia Wilson, they don't want to defend out there. Stephanie Dawson she's been letting that thing go. Chad says, get your goddamn spirits up, Chris. Don't dare let these fools shake your comment. No. It ain't none of that. He says, put some bass in your voice in these picks. It's always bass in my voice, Chad. That ain't it, man. That ain't it at all. Let's see. Joel says, frustrating when you do all that work. Keep your thing going, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'm trying to get through all the comments. I can't get through all of them, but I see you guys and I appreciate the I guess the words of encouragement, I guess. TC Bet says, morning, bro. I locked in that -5.5 for the Lynx. Like we talked about on Twitter. It's now 7.5, so I'm feeling good. Yeah, it's always good when you can get some CLV for sure. Don't always mean nothing. We got CLV yesterday with the with the Liberty. I mean with the Aces and the Mystics. It still was a loser, but it's all good. We'll get back on track here. Let's see. HM says, don't forget to hit that like button, you dig. Appreciate that. Good morning, Sarah. All right, let's see. Life's a Drip says he had Dawson 3 threes and Asia Wilson 25. Asia had her worst game of the season. That was another big part of that. I think she finished with like 9 or 11 points. I'm so glad I didn't go to that game because I was thinking about going. And Kelsey Plum had 2 points as well. It was just a really weird game yesterday between the Aces and the Washington Mystics. But that 8 points in the fourth quarter, boy, I was heated yesterday. That was one of the reasons I didn't even bet the second game. But it is what it is. Like I said, let's get into the 3 games that we have on the board for today. We got the first one. We got the Atlanta Dream and the New York Liberty. This is a 1:00 start time game, and we do see the spread moving. So it was 14, like just literally 15 minutes ago when I updated all these graphics, and the total was at 167, still at 167, but the spread is moving in favor of New York. They are up to 14.5. I also see a 15 in here as well. So let's talk about this one. You got a Dream team, which we were right on. We did get the Dream right. I feel like the only thing I done got right recently. We got the Dream right against the Connecticut Sun the other day, so they're coming off 1 day's rest. Second straight road game for them. I think it's the last game of a short 2-game road trip as well. And on the season, 6-9 straight up. That should not say straight up twice. You can tell I was rushing this morning. They're 6-9. Let's see. All right, 6-9 straight up are the Dream, and 5-10 against the number. On the road, the Dream have been a better team. They're 4-3 straight up, 4-3 against the number. Of course, they just got to win against the Connecticut Sun on the road. Offensively, you can see that their ratings there, at least the last 5 is what I've been putting up recently. 12th in offensive rating. Their offense looked really, really putrid. Even in that last game, their offense looked really bad. Even against Connecticut, it looked really bad. Connecticut is a really good defense, but boy, it was times in there where my eyes was bleeding trying to watch them score the basketball. I want to say they had like 28, 29 points at the end of the first half. Defensively, they've been doing well, though. They held Connecticut under their team total, which is something that we talked about in the last game. The net rating, they are 10th. Now, looking at the Liberty, 4 days rest. They are coming off, the Commissioner's Cup loss. And this is the first game since the Commissioner's Cup. And they actually got the rematch against Minnesota. I think that game is on Tuesday. So it'll be in New York as well. They could be potentially looking ahead to that game. 16-4 in the season, only 8-12 against the number. And it's really just been that simple, man. You take them on the road because they've been the best road team in the WNBA. And if you take them at home, you want to take them early. First quarter is typically the way you want to play them. Let's see. I didn't even write that one down, but first quarter right now is, let's see. First quarter is 4.5. That's a super big number. Their first quarter team total has been something that's been cashing. But I want to tell you guys. So 23.5 minus 120. So for the Liberty, it scored 24 points in the first half. Minus 120 is juice. So you can get 24.5, which is a little too high for my blood. A little too rich for me, but couldn't talk anybody off of it. I do think, even though the Dream played a little bit better defense in that last game, the Liberty probably will be fired up in this game. When I went back and looked at, the post-game interview after the Lynx beat the Liberty, a lot of it was Sabrina Ionescu and Coach, what's her name? Sandy Berdella. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But it was the coach and Stewie and Sabrina all talking about how, they kind of beat themselves. They kind of go away from what's working. And I'll tell you guys right now, if the Liberty have a good game, it's always typically because of Jaquel Jones. Jaquel looked terrible in that last game. She scored her first 2 points, I think, in the fourth quarter with just a couple minutes left. And if they don't run the offense through her, a lot of ball screens where she can be involved, they can really, really struggle to score the basketball. And they can really, really struggle to have her locked in on the defensive end as well. So for me, it all starts with, what Jacquel Jones is doing out there. If they have her involved, yeah, they're number one rated offense, number one net rating, all that good stuff. But if she's not involved, I don't really like the Liberty as much. And for whatever reason, at home, they don't cover these big numbers. The Dream, what I wrote in my notes last night, because I did play this game. I didn't play the side. I played the total up and over. It was 165.5. Very, very early this morning, probably like around 1 a.m. when I sent out the play. Let's see. Today is the 30th. So let's see what I put in my notes. So Liberty beat the Dream twice already this season, covered both games, but they do have Minnesota on deck, like we talked about already. They are well rested, and they score better than anyone else in the entire WNBA. 8-2 straight up at home, but just 1-9 against the spread. That will not allow me to lay 14 points. I don't care who they're playing against. I've seen teams worse than the Dream lose. Not lose, but cover against the Liberty in New York. So I'm never really looking towards them to lay double digits. They've allowed 80 points or more in 9 of their 10 games at home as well. And Atlanta team total last night, it was 75.5. I think the number is up to 76, 77. I think they should be able to get there. Liberty also 6-0 to the over in their last 6 games, averaging about 176 points. If the Dream can score 78 versus a slow pace, the slowest paced team in the league in Connecticut, then I think they should be able to get to 78 against the one of the faster paced teams. Actually, the fastest paced team, the New York Liberty. I do think that they should be able to keep up. Dream also 5-2 to the over on the road because this is where they score most of their points. I also put this in the write-up. Jordan Canada, she is kind of finding her rhythm. This will be her 3rd game back. In her last game against Connecticut, a much better defense. She did have 9 points and 6 assists off the bench. So I did see one more thing I wanted to mention real quick, just as far as injury report. Ariel Powers is going to be out in this game, or at least I saw out. Will not return. I saw out last night. I'm seeing game time decision right now, but I don't think that Ariel Powers is. I do see her lines listed. I think from what I saw from one of the beat reporters from Atlanta said that she was going to be out. That's a big, big loss, but in my opinion, it's more of a loss on the defensive end. Ariel Powers is more of a defender. She does provide some scoring, but I do think Atlanta will be able to keep up. I think that they'll be able to contribute. Their guards are still food. Courtney Vandersloot back. She still can't guard anybody. So I like the Liberty to be able to score. They probably get to 100. But I also like the Dream to be able to contribute. So I played the total over. If I had to play the side, I'd only be taking the points with Atlanta. I think the Liberty could win this game by 13, by 12, by 10. So the bigger the line gets, the more I like the Liberty. And that's what I'll say about this one. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. A lot of stuff going on in this chat here. Let's see. What up to my guy, Eric? I don't think I shouted him out. What up, Jordan? Caitlin triple-double today. We're going to talk about that in a second. What up, Bruce? Says, love tuning into your show. Yesterday, I took a play and put a full unit on it. Ace's second quarter team total over 23.5. I'm glad you cashed that. Let's see. What up, Trackalina? He says, let's go what we got for first half. I am not messing with the first half in this game. All right, where was I at? I was happy Sunday to you, Kristen, as well. Ronnie says, Asia Wilson player prop killed my parlay. Yeah, you got to play him straight, man. Let's see. Shout out to Rob for becoming a member as well. Robert says he lost 200 on that 4 points in the last 4 minutes. Boy, I won't tell you guys what I lost on it, but I lost on that one as well. All right, let's see. What else? Light Bearer here. Good morning, Light Bearer. Nest Bet says Atlanta cannot mess with New York. Got them for nothing. Getting smoked today for 40 minutes. He says Atlanta offense is tough to watch. I agree there. Dropping Dime says he likes the Liberty first quarter minus the 4.5 and their team total over 23.5. 23.5. He said Liberty dropping 30 on them in the first quarter. Okay. Kervin says Dream is the pick today. Don't overthink it. And I'm right there with you. I know I see some Liberty stuff in the chat, but I'm not looking towards the Liberty today. Not looking towards the Liberty at all. Stephanie 3 threes. Jay Cutter says. Nesbeth says I thought about playing them early also. New York was up almost 30 at halftime in Atlanta last game. I just like the full game. Laid the 2 touchdowns. Confident New York gonna cover some spreads at home this year. I think they will too, Nesbitt. I just don't think it'll be this one, and I don't like that they got the Liberty on the Minnesota on deck either. And I just kind of feel like their bench it's a big drop off in my opinion from their starters to their bench. Now you do get Benajelani back, Benajelani Hamilton back. She played in the last game, but this will be her second game back. 4 days rest, kind of getting more acclimated because she had missed 3 games in a row. Same thing with Courtney Vandersloot. They were trying to bring those 2 guards back and integrate them in the offense in the Commissioner's Cup game, which is why I like Minnesota so much. So I guess that kind of works in their favor, kind of puts the bench players back on the bench, but I don't really like it as much. Not looking towards the Libs today, unless I like them early. First half, I think, could even be in play. But the Liberty, one of those teams, man. We talk about it all the time. If their threes are going in, that's when they blow you out. They have different pockets of the game where they just don't play well, though. Like, they're going to have a quarter where they score about 16, 17 points. Then they're also going to have a quarter where they score 31 or 30 points. And, that's that inconsistency for me just kills me with the Liberty. They're a really good team in live bet. Because if you see them in a game where it's close and they should be winning, they're probably going to end up winning. But if you see them in a game where they're up big, then you probably want to live bet the other team because they can take their foot off the gas really easy. And it says, you read the Mystics game perfectly. They covered the spread for the first 3 quarters and then gave up the lead, like you said on yesterday's show. Also, good call on the Storm first half. Glad you cashed those. Let's see. Jerry says New York does not cover at home. Agreement there. Jay Holiday says Seattle game total over 42.5, and Natasha Howard over her rebounds prop. Must be talking about yesterday. Daniel says he's cashed $460 last week off the WNBA plays. I'm glad you've been cashing, Daniel. I've been getting smoked, not playing the plays that I like. Mark says Chris has me play some bets at 2 a.m. Love getting these early lines. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I think they're gonna be able to contribute to the score. More life sway says top of the morning, Chris. Liberty usually don't cover big spreads. Mike could take a shot with the dream. Yeah, you could even get them live though. You could even get them live. Gary says, do you mean the bigger the line grows, you like the dream? Yeah, the bigger it gets. If it goes to 15.5, I'm probably gonna end up taking the dream. I didn't play the dream yet though, but I do see it up to 15 total. Up to 167, it looks like. Bruce likes Tina Charles to go over 14.5 points. Yeah, if you like the Atlanta Dream, you definitely gonna need them to score the basketball. Tina Charles not a bad look at all, especially without Ryan Howard. She is gonna continue to be out. She's missed probably like 2 weeks now, ever since she rolled her left ankle in Minnesota. So yeah, somebody's gonna have to score the basketball. And that offense, boy, you want to watch it with your eyes closed for sure. Jay likes the Liberty first quarter and the over 42.5 in the first quarter as well. Mitchell says he likes the Dream Team total over 75.5. Could not talk you off. 3 times says good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. What's your take on Tina Charles? We just talked about her 3 times. Yeah, without Ryan Howard, she has to be more assertive and aggressive. So I couldn't talk you off at all. Malcolm says Liberty have a habit of taking their foot off the gas. Don't trust them holding the 14. I agree. I definitely agree. They have already beat the Atlanta Dream twice by margin both games, but the Liberty, they play better defense on the road for whatever reason. They're like the best team on the road in the WNBA. At home, it's like they don't care as much. Chad says send my buddy plays. Have sent them 35 and 15 last 50. He only parlays. I've tried telling him not lose money on 70% winners. Never parlay. And I'm with you, Chad. It's too hard for me to parlay. People come in here and talk about parlay and picks all the time. That's not my style. Not my style at all. Bruce says Charles had 14 and 6 last game versus the Sun in 29 minutes. Yeah. And she's actually, I'll say this real quick and then we'll get on to the next game. Tina Charles is actually one of the only players that Tanisha Wright actually likes because they used to be teammates. She dogs the rest of her players. It's almost like Tina Charles is like the assistant coach. If you guys ever watch any of their post-game interviews, that's what it feels like to me. What's up, All Praise Picks? Says, let's finish the weekend off strong. Daniel says, I've been doing all alt game lines like Atlanta plus 18 and the game total over 159. Yeah, sometimes those can cash. I'm not big on those, but I know a lot of the times if I would have done those myself, I probably would have made some money. So don't let me talk you off, Daniel. Get it how you live, man. I'm not here to tell you guys what to put your money on. I'm here to tell you guys what I put my money on. Let's see. I think the Liberty need a a booster from their last game, which was a loss. And what's better than to take the dream behind the woodshed? Just how you're thinking about it, yeah. Helms, what's going on, my brother? Hope all is well. He says Liberty and Lynx play again this week. Oh, damn. Yeah, they play on Tuesday, and the game will be in New York. So I think they got that one circled a little bit more, in my opinion. Last comment before we move on. Desmond says, had to take some juice today, but I ran Brianna Stewart, 3 assists at -140. Diana Taurasi, 3.5 assists at -150. Caitlin Clark over her 5.5 rebounds, I'm guessing, at -115. Ladder her assist to 5 and rebounds to 7 at straights too. Yeah, we're gonna talk about those games. This is gonna be some interesting games, man. I'm gonna slow down a little bit when I get to those games because I didn't dive into those ones as much as I did this one. I really spent some time looking into all these numbers last night. I already knew I wasn't laying the 14 points with the New York Liberty, and I already knew I liked the over as well. But when I saw that, as you guys can see on the screen, well, you can't see on the screen, but in the 10 games that the Liberty have been home favorites, they've been double-digit favorites in every single game. And not only are they 8-2 straight up, they're also 8-2 to the over because they just allowed teams to score, and they play at such a fast pace. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Let's go on to the next game. I feel like we did a good job. We did a good job there. So, just to recap, I did play the over at 165.5 last night. Sent that out to the members. I'm leaning Liberty. I'm leaning Atlanta plus the 14.5, plus the 15 is actually coming back down now. So plus the 15, plus the 14.5, and I couldn't talk anybody off looking at New York early. I just, like I said, New York, they burned me a couple times already. Wanting to take their first quarter team total over. I feel like the early bets that I've been talking about haven't been cashing as frequently. I'll stay off because I kind of want to take the Liberty first half, minus the 8.5. But like I said, I'll show some respect to the Dreams defense. They have the one thing they've been doing has been able to get a few stops. But if Jacquel Jones gets going, it'll be barbecue chicken for the Dream because she is the X factor, and they've already smoked this Dream team twice. All right, so those are my thoughts. Let's keep it moving. Next game up, we got the Fever and the Mercury. Game will be played at 3:00, which is the same time that the Minnesota Lynx and the Chicago Sky play as well, which is really frustrating, honestly, that they put both of those games on at the same time. So this line opened, I think it was 6.5, 7, and total open 170.5. I actually fell asleep looking at this total last night. First thing I want to point out, though, is the injury report. And to my opinion, it is significant because you got 2 young ladies listed as questionable that have a tremendous impact on the game, in my opinion. So on the Fever side, Timmy Funk-Bagley is nail game time decision. I think it's her wrist. Let me double check. I wrote it down in my notes last night. No, it's her thumb. So she came back after missing like about a month, and now she injured her thumb in that game, in that loss against Seattle the other day. And then on the opposite side, you got Becca Allen. She's also listed as questionable with a back injury, and this was something new as well because I'm pretty sure she played, that full game against the Sparks the other day, at least from what I saw. But she also popped up on the injury report, and both of those injuries on both sides, Timmy Funk-Bagley and Becca Allen, in my opinion, have significant meaning towards the total. And if they don't play, I think it's a up and over type of game. I know that the total has moved already 5 points. I should have got in last night, but I did not. This one's pretty simple. So let's jump into the details. So for the Fever, 2 days rest, fourth straight road game, and they've now lost back-to-back games now that they've been playing against competitive teams. They were doing well when they had that little 5 or 6 games against losing teams. 7-12 on the season, 7-10. That can't be right. Oh Lord, here. Oh man, I'm making another mistake, man. I guess y'all don't charge it to me. Charge it to the game. It's early in the morning. Let's see. This is supposed to say 10-9 against the spread. So let's update this really quickly. I don't know how I did that. All right, so 7-12 straight up on the season, 10-9 against the numbers. So they've been covering, not covering, covering, not covering. They are 3-8 on the road and 5-6 against the number on the road. And their offensive, defensive, and net ratings are updated. You can see over the last 5 games, they've been a really good offense, even though Seattle locked them up. Defensively, they still suck. They can't guard anybody. And the net rating, they're middle of the pack in sixth. And then on the Mercury side, 1 day's rest, second straight home game. They of course are coming off a double-digit win against the LA Sparks. 8-8 on the season, 10-6 against the number, 7-2 straight up and against the number at home. And this line is actually moving as well. It opened, like I said, at 7. It's up to 8 now. So even since we started the show, money's still coming in on Phoenix in this spot. It's pushed them to, well, no, it didn't. It pushed the Minnesota Lynx to 8. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the live eye screen. How I kind of feel about this game. First of all, I don't trust the Fever's defense on the road. I don't think any of us should. They're the worst rated defensive team on the road so far. They don't seem like when they play against really good teams, it don't really feel like they enjoy playing against each other, playing with each other. Like I watched that last game against the Storm, and the Storm was just smothering them. I'm not sure if the Mercury can play defense like that, which is why I kind of like the total to go up and over. I really wanted to play the Mercury team total. Last night, I think it was like 88.5, 89.5. Now it's up to 91.5. I don't like it as much there, but this should be a pretty fast-paced game. The Mercury are number one in pace over the last 5 games. And the Fever, they play slow, but I do think this is a game where Caitlin Clark is going to have to really hoop. One other thing I wanted to mention, I actually bookmarked this tweet from one of the beat writers over on Twitter. And the tweet was something along the lines of Christy Size on if she wants Caitlin Clark to shoot more. Quote, Caitlin Clark needs to shoot at minimum 15 shots a game for us. She's got to get shots. We got to do better jobs of setting screens for her and setting some really good screens for her to get open. Caitlin Clark only took 9 shots against the Seattle Storm. She went under her points prop. I think it was sitting at 17.5. In my opinion, the Mercury, especially if they don't have Becca Allen, who's listed as questionable right now. She is one of the better defenders. Natasha Howard's a great defender as well. She's probably going to end up drawing Caitlin Clark. But if they don't have Becca Allen, that's one less defender. I actually think Caitlin Clark is going to go at Diana Taurasi today. Diana Taurasi is absolute food on defense. She can't guard anybody. And she still can get buckets. And I would probably look towards her points prop because I do think she's probably going to want to go at Caitlin Clark today. But I would look for Caitlin Clark to be a little bit more aggressive. As long as the team can set screens, the screen's just been terrible, man. Like Aaliyah Boston's really the only good screener, it feels like, in my opinion, that they have out there. So real quick, I want to see what Caitlin Clark points prop is at. Because if it's still about 17.5, I do think today's one of those games where she shoots the ball a lot, and I can see the overhitting. 16.5, minus 125 on Bet365. I already told you guys, like I said, the Mercury are the fastest paced team in the WNBA. I think the Fever gonna have to keep up. I think Mercury dictate the pace. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I think if I had to play the spread, I would be looking towards. If I had to play the spread, I would be looking towards. I'd be looking towards the Mercury. I do think that they can cover. I'm just not into trusting the Fever. On the road. I know that they had a couple of days to kind of get right. I just don't want to trust them on the road. I don't want to trust them against good teams. They still not shown us that they can beat good teams. And the Mercury, like I said, 9-2. Last point I want to make. The Mercury have what they call the 6 man, which is their home crowd. And I kind of believe in that. I think that's a part of the reason why they play so well at home versus on the road. As you guys can see here, 7-2 straight up, 7-2 against the number at the crib. Their offensive and defensive metrics, their point margin, all that stuff goes up when they're at home. And the Fever not making those outside shots, it could be a really, really long day. Brittany Griner should be able to slow Aaliyah Boston down, in my opinion, a little bit, which will take away from the offense that the Fever, can score. So I kind of like the Mercury minus the 7.5. I have not gotten to the window with it yet. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. I know I said a lot. Let's go see if I can catch back up to the chat. Sincerely says, I'm late, but I want to thank Chris for the great picks yesterday. I'm glad you cashed, sincerely. Glad you cashed. Rob says, I can't speak for everyone, but parlays got me living pretty good. Yeah, that's why it's always to each his own, man. If they work for you, great. If I parlay two things together, three things together, it never works for me. So yeah, not my thing. What up, Moneyline Mills? Slee says I definitely lean first quarter over 43.5 in that game, in the last game versus the Liberty versus the Dream. Yeah, Helms. I saw no aerial powers at all. Chad says I feel like reading some of these comments makes my IQ drop. Sometimes people come in here that's never been a part of the show before, say some wild things, and you never see them again. I will agree with you on this, Chad. Some people don't know basketball, do pop in the chat. But it's a lot of people who do know basketball that are here as well. It's almost like we got to figure out how can we, you know what? Never mind. Daniel Green says, Rob, me too. He likes the parlays as well. Ball Talk says, yo, Chris, did you hoop? I know my boy was nice. I'm getting Alex Burke vibes. Nothing like Alex Burke, but yeah, I definitely hoop. I still hoop, but I don't hoop as much as I used to. Yeah. Ball Talk likes Fever plus 7.5. Fourth straight road game for the Fever. Yes, that is true, Mark. Yep. Mercury first quarter for dropping dimes. I could see first quarter. Yeah, Fever been terrible in the first quarter. This could be a really good look. I took the Mercury first half against the Sparks the other day, and De'Arica Hamby absolutely crushes them. And then the Mercury wake up in the third quarter. Kalia Copper comes to play. And they smoked I think it was the third quarter where they kind of pulled away, won that quarter by double digits. And yeah, I was just on the wrong side. But I couldn't talk you off first quarter. Mercury should get up for this game. I do think the Mercury going to get up for the Fever. Most teams get up for Caitlin Clark being in their building. I think the crowd's going to be turned up too. All Praise Pick says Diana Taurasi showing out in this game. Nobody is going to guard Kai, in my opinion, Helms. Kalia Copper could go crazy in this game. Remember, we just saw Joel Lloyd go crazy in the last one. Kalia Copper, what's her points at? 21.5. I think, yeah, I will write Kalia Copper's name down. Not sure if I'm going to get there. I'll look a little bit more into it. But yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Joel Lloyd just went for 30. I think she had 30, 34 in that last game. They really struggle against guards. Like Caitlin Clark is absolute. She's food on defense. She can't guard anybody. J-Rel says Mercury might win by 15 tonight. This will be a statement game for Taurasi and company. Mercury first half team total over 45.5. Fever have been the worst net defensive rated team in the first half on the road in the last 5 games, Dropping Dime says. Let's look at that real quick. So Fever defense on the road last 5 games. Specifically on the road. I see Indiana. Yeah, that's not right. They 6 defensive rated last 5 road games. Defensive rating of 105.3. The Lynx actually, that's only 1 game. Dallas, the worst defensive team. Dallas, the Sparks, the Mystics on the road last 5 games. So, I mean, I know the defense has been bad, though, Dropping Downs. All Praise Pick says, remembering DT's comment about welcoming Caitlin Clark to the league, she said it was going to be fun, is what she said. Ness Best likes the Mercury around 7.5, so we're in agreement here, Ness Best. He says, I've been fading the Fever lately, but I've been all over the Fever lately, but they were playing other bad teams. Phoenix too stacked for them, and they on ESPN, Mercury by double digits. Kind of agree with that comment for sure. Tuana says going to be closer than most think, so he's disagreement here. Helm says they also were playing at home. Next best, they've been bad on the road. Yeah, that's true. Mercury first half for Jabba minus the 4.5. Mercury different at home. Yeah, he different. All right. It cost me some money. I took a minus the 6, and they were winning by 1 at halftime against the Sparks. And I would say that the Fever are better than the Sparks. All Praise Picks likes Brittany Griner points plus rebounds should be a good one. Let's see. More Life Sway says bad spot for the Fever. I like the Mercury early. They would try to make a statement for starting slow against the Sparks. You would hope so, More Life Sway. You would definitely hope so. Tuan says Fever plus 12.5 and a total over. Okay. What up, Peasy? Top of the morning to you, my brother. Size called out Caitlin Clark for not shooting enough. I did go over that tweet. Did catch that one. What else y'all saying? J-Rel says Cloud will be guarding Clark. It won't be easy for Clark. Yeah, I think they'll set a couple screens to get her off of her. I think it'll be that simple. Caitlin gonna have to knock down her shots though, because you're right. Natasha Cloud's a dog. It will not be easy for Caitlin Clark. It will not be easy for her. So let's think about this for a second. All right. So I think Aaliyah Boston will struggle to score in the paint against Brittany Griner. Like that's one of the better rim protectors in the WNBA, of course. And Natasha Cloud gonna be all over Caitlin Clark. So that means Tiffany Mitchell's gonna have to play well. Melissa Smith is gonna have to play well. If Becca Allen is out, that does open up a lot of opportunities for both of them. Yeah, I think I like the under a little bit more. I'm just trying to think about where the points gonna come from if we think Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston gonna be slowed down. I'll think a little bit more about that after the show. Rob says Caitlin Clark over 16.5 and 3 threes, and Taurasi 3 threes is plus 204. Diana Taurasi gonna shoot probably 10 threes today. Gonna shoot 10 threes today. Trying to get through most of these comments. Does Phoenix allow a lot of assists? Springy says. Let's take a look at that real quick. So last 5 games, the Mercury are allowing the 6th most assists. So they're right in the middle of the pack. 20.8 is what they allow. The Indiana Fever, let's see, match these two teams up real quick. The Fever don't average a lot of assists. They're 7th in assists percentage over the last 5 games. So trending towards the bottom of the league. Yeah, assist to turnover ratio, not that great. Yeah, they're really gonna have to make some shots, is what I'm looking at. The Fever gonna have to make some shots from the 3-point line. They are number 1 in above the break 3 field goal percentage, shooting 45% from the 3-point line, above the break 3. And that is where the Phoenix Mercury struggle the most. They actually allow teams to shoot the highest percentage over the last 5 games from the 3-point line, allowing teams to shoot 42.3%, which is bottom 5, the worst. They actually give up the most attempts, they give up the most makes, and they give up the highest percentage. So that's one advantage that the Fever do have in this game. As far as points in the paint, the Fever averaged the 3rd most over the last 5 games, but the Mercury only giving up the 2nd fewest. And to put some numbers to that, the Mercury are allowing the Mercury only allowing 32 points in the paint, where the Fever are scoring 41. So yeah, that to me says under. Fever don't score a lot of points in the fast break. They don't score a lot of points off second chance rebounds. They're dead last in points off turnovers. Yeah, this makes me like the Mercury a little bit more, even more. I might get there with the Mercury minus 7.5. Yeah, I think I might get there with the 7.5. Let's see. Marquis says, I'm going to take the Fever with the points. Maybe a high-scoring game also. We'll see. Let's see. Mitchell likes the Mercury first half, too. So a lot of love for this Mercury first half and full game to cover. Fever are a slow first half team. Yeah, that's true. Y5 Hoop says Kai should go off today. Yeah, I wrote down her 21.5 points. I'm in agreement with that. Aaliyah Boston double-double at plus 135, Bruce says. Full unit for him. Jay Jenkins says, Chris Brain just told us about to chill. Copper tweeted out, stop playing with me in your parlays. I did see that, I did see that. I couldn't talk you off Aaliyah Boston double-double, Bruce. It's going to be difficult, though. It is going to be difficult with Brittany Griner down there. He says he's been crushing his player props. I hope you cash today as well. Z's Ness says Yo, Chris, good morning. What do you think about the Mercury first half? I like the Mercury. I think first half should be a good look. I really, really do. They just burnt me in the last game. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go back to them quite yet. But yeah, first half. A lot of people like the first half. Real quick, if I was just to go to, let's do one more thing real quick, and then we got to get to the next game. I feel like I've been here for all day. I know a lot of people like this one. Sheesh. Let's go. Let's just look at some of the trends real quick. So I'm on moneyballer.com. Mercury are 6-3 in the first half at home. And the Fever are 3-7-1 first half on the road. So there you go. Maybe it is just that simple. 6-3 against the number in the first half of the Mercury. Just so happened not to cover for me against the Sparks in the last game. So yeah, off a loss in the first half. Fever 3-7-1 as well. Yeah, Mercury are only 2-3 as a favorite in the first half. But at home, yeah, it's all about being at home for the Fever, in my opinion. They are really, really good home team. Just not when I took them last game. So if I stay off of them, you guys will probably cash. Let's see. Yeah, I do remember this, ZB. Do remember this. Marquis says Fever going to push the pace when Griner can't set up in the half court. They're going to have to, because the Fever actually, remember, we took the Fever to go over the total against Seattle, and they went under by 2 points, and that was 2 days ago. And I go back to pace. They weren't playing with a lot of pace in that game. They also just couldn't score the basketball. But when I look at the pace numbers, the Fever don't play fast. The Fever have actually slowed down. Let's see real quick. Let me get you guys. So they're actually 9th in pace, the Fever are, over their last 5 games. 9th on the season as well, which is the 3rd slowest pace in the WNBA. But the Mercury do play at the fastest pace. The fastest pace. They actually play faster than the Aces, the Liberty, everybody. They want to get up and down the floor. As we've kind of talked about, Tippett's been saying that since he got there in the preseason. He was saying that. Angel Reese, Rookie of the Year, plus 400. Lock it in. Nail Watcher says, okay. Hot TV Grit says, Chris, I tell your picks daily and appreciate your research and success rate. Keep up the great work, my brother. You're a good look to the Sauce Show. Appreciate that. Shout out to my guy, Kyle. Rossi hates Caitlin Clark. Unique says, I got to watch this game. Yeah, I'm going to be locked in for this one as well. Let's see. Hamby had a big game. Look at her unders. She definitely got that Porter on her unders some games. They don't play today, though. Clark going off today, Wild Drink says, Tina Charles over or under her rebounds. Not even sure what the line is. Darius, not going to give you anything there because I don't have anything. Mercury first half, Bruce says. Phoenix up to 8.5. No way. Phoenix not up to 8.5, are they? Yeah. The line moved the whole point. I should have locked it in, man. Film says, I watched this one, but the Wagon are playing at the same time. What's the Wagon? Not sure what that means. All right, let's get to the last game. Let's go to the last game. God, that's crazy. It went up to 8.5 already. Boy, shoot. Yeah, it's all the 7.5s gone. I see a 7.5 on Betfred. If you guys have Betfred and you want to get in, but 8.5. ESPN Bet got a 7.5, but it's juiced at -120 as well. Rob says the -5 on the half now. Books are watching. Somebody doing something, man. That's crazy. Yeah, everybody's shouting out that it went to 7.5, from 7.5 to 8.5. Let's go to the last game. So yeah, I do kind of lean Mercury. Hopefully it's a double-digit win if I end up getting there with them now. Let's keep moving. Last game on the board, we got the Lynx in the sky. Lynx are laying 7.5 points. This line hasn't moved, right? Let me double check. Yeah, this one did move. It moved to 8. Total still the same, about 163.5. It opened 162, so a little bit of money coming in on the over here as well from the opening line. So we got a Lynx team that is coming off 2 days rest, third straight road game for them, and they're coming off that upset loss after winning the Commissioner's Cup. They actually lost straight up to Dallas, laying 9 points in that game after the one day off after the Commissioner Cup game. 14-4 on the season, 13-5 against the number. This team has been really, really good. 5-3, straight up 6-2 against the number. Offensively, taking a little step back, 8th in offensive rating. Defensive rating is number 1 last 5 games, and the net rating is also number 2 last 5 games. You look at the sky, And they do have 2 days rest as well. 4th straight home game for them. They're coming off the loss to the Aces, I want to say. Double-digit loss to the Aces. 6-10 straight up and against the number so far. 3-4, both straight up and against the number at home so far. And the Sky are really a Jekyll and Hyde team, man. Like, they really need their offense to be going. And it was going in that last game against the Aces, and then they just kind of ran out. Marina Mabry started the game off hot. Kennedy Carter, of course, been playing well. And then Angel Reese continues to be a double-double machine. She continues to score the basketball at a really higher rate than I think. And, of course, her rebounding has been second to none. I think she still leads the WNBA in offensive rebounding. So when I look into this game, man, a couple things that really stood out to me. And I probably should have got there with the Lynx. Let me just double check the injury report real quick. I don't think it was anything major on there. Nafisha Collier is listed as probable. I did see this yesterday. Right wrist injury. I think she's gonna play. And yeah, everybody else is good for the Chicago Sky outside of Elizabeth Williams, who's done for the season after committing to surgery. I think it was last week. So getting back into the game. When I was matching these two teams up on the floor, just kind of looking at the numbers, I think it's going to be really, really difficult for Chicago to score in this game. I think the Lynx are going to be locked in and focused just because they came out so flat in that last game, weren't knocking down shots and really just weren't playing defense. They gave up 94 points to the Dallas Wings. And I can guarantee you, Crystal Reeves was not excited about that. So I think they bounced back defensively. Chicago really does struggle to score the basketball. And when I look at where they score the points, it's typically in the paint, right? We think about points in the paint. They are number one in fast break points as well. The Lynx don't give up a lot of fast break points. They give up about 8 per game, which is 4th. Whereas Chicago, they turn teams over a lot. Minnesota does not turn the ball over a lot. And they get out and run. They average almost 15 fast break points. So as long as Minnesota can box out and get rebounds, stop Chicago Sky from scoring, scoring, what did they score? 45, 46 points in the paint per game. The Minnesota Lynx only give up about 36. So as long as they can do that, limit the second chance points, which is something that the Lynx do struggle. The Lynx do struggle with. They actually give up almost 10 second chance points per game. But they just got to make sure that they do not they just got to rebound the basketball, if I'm being honest. And that's one of the things that they do struggle with. They give up the most offensive rebounds in the league. They're actually the worst rebounding team over the last 5 games, over the full season as well. It's the only knock against them. And it's actually the strength of the Chicago Sky. So as the spread gets bigger, I don't like it as much. But yeah, if Minnesota can do those things, I do think Chicago's going to struggle. I really, really do. I think, let's see. Somebody just put it in the chat right here. Who was it? Dropping Dom says, Sky team total under 78.5. This is the way I could kind of see the game going. They do play fast, but I feel like the Lynx going to lock in on defense today. That would be my look in this game. Just kind of taking a brief look at it all. I always talk about Chicago. They want to turn you over. They're first in the WNBA in forcing turnovers, but the Lynx don't turn the ball over a lot. They're actually third best in ball security. And outside of that, you really just need the Sky you need the Lynx to rebound the basketball. Because if you got Cardoso down there, if you got Angel Reese down there, Kennedy Carter is a good rebounder. If you got those, ladies down there, killing you on the glass, getting second chance points, that could be the struggle. That could definitely be the struggle. So yeah, I do kind of like the Lynx team. I do kind of like Chicago team total to go over a little bit more than I like anything else in this game. I'm sorry, under. Chicago team total under. I think that number was, somebody said it was 78.5 in the chat. Let me see what I see real quick. Yeah, 78.5 minus 115 over on ESPN bet. I think would be the best way that I would play this game. Because the Lynx could get to 86 points, but I'm not necessarily sure if they need to, if I'm being honest. Let's see. Helm likes the Lynx, probably on the spread. Bet Rivers still got a 7.5 on that last game we talked about. Helm says Lynx are a wagon. Nets, my guy Netsbet says lean Lynx. Ever since it opened at 3.5, felt low. Lean Lynx to bounce back, but just decided to leave this game alone. Yeah, I may play it live. Like I do think the Lynx can win this game by double digits. Chicago gonna be feisty. Like they're not gonna give up. You know, you're gonna have to really beat them as we've seen. But like I always talk about, the Chicago Sky struggle to score the basketball, and the Lynx, I think they bounce back defensively in this game. So it does kind of make me think Lynx early. If I look at the trends real quick for the Lynx, go back to moneyballer.com. Let's see. Minnesota is, I know they're not a great first half team. So on the road, the Lynx are actually 6-2, 75% in the first half on the road. The Sky are 3-6. Well, I'm sorry. They are 5-3-1 in the first half at home. That gives me a little hesitation. Maybe a first half under 2. Looks like the Lynx are 6-3-1. Hold on. Now let me go to over. Yeah, 6-3-1 to the under are the Lynx in the first half at in the first half as a favorite. Sky 7-3 to the over as a dog though. That gives me a little hesitation. Yeah, I'm just kind of talking this one out with you guys. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to the window with this one. Situationally though, I just think it's a nice bounce back spot for the Lynx. Lynx should smoke this guy, and then they probably gonna lose to the Liberty in the next game. Liberty gonna be fired up for that one. FY says he likes the Lynx first quarter and first half. Mitchell says Lynx all day and Sky team total under he likes. The Holiday says Angel Reese good for another double-double. I need her to get 13 in a row to cash my plus 400 on ESPN bet. Jesus, 13 in a row? 13 in a row is crazy. But yeah, I mean, she should, last game we talked about her playing against the Aces, and I said that she probably wouldn't get the rebounds. Because the Aces don't give up a lot of rebounds. And she went out there and got the rebounds. She's playing against the worst rebounding team in the WNBA. Granted, the Lynx are probably top 3, when it comes to good teams, but she's playing against one of the worst rebounding teams, which is why her rebounds set at 11.5, and it's juiced to the over. Minus 130 on DraftKings is the best number I see. 11.5 rebounds minus 130 is asking a lot. Jesus, that's a lot of rebounds. I probably would look at Fee. Fee gonna have to go down there and get the rebounds if she's not getting them. Fee's sitting at 9.5. Chicago struggles to score the basketball. And she's sitting at minus 135 to get 9. So maybe Fee should call you a double-double is the look in this game. See what Fee should call you a double-double is. If you can get it better than the rebounds play. Never mind. That's minus 145. That's even worse. So, yeah, disregard that. Dropping down says he likes the first half under 84. Lynx 6-3-1 to the under. This is what I was just talking about. Okay. Lane says, I feel like many can catch Chicago's physicality, can match Chicago's physicality. Yeah, I think they can too. They have played well against physical teams. Even when New York tried to be physical with them in the Commissioner's Cup, they play well. Yeah, they have. Seattle plays physical against them. They definitely match Seattle's physicality. Helm says Collier has to go for a big game here. And I think I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. The other thing is, just real quick, Chicago, I want to say they defended 3-point line pretty well. Let me just see. Let me double check it. Because I'm thinking about Caleb McBuckets. Chicago's 3-point defense is, oh God, it's actually terrible. This actually looks good for Caleb McBride. Last 5 games, Chicago is giving up the most above the 3, the second most above the 3 makes, allowing teams to hit about 7 a game. Giving up the second most attempts, teams shooting 18 above the break threes, and allowing teams to shoot about 38% from the 3-point line, which is the 3rd worst as well. So their above the break 3 defense has been really, really bad. Lynx, the way that they move the basketball, Courtney Williams at the point guard position, and how unselfish they are, they should probably be able to cover that first half number, I'm thinking, especially if they're locked in. I thought their defense, their 3-point defense was a little bit better than this. It's actually been really bad though. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's see. Sterling says, "Do you like Angel Reese double? Yeah, I mean, why? Who wants to fade Angel Reese double? At this point, what? It's minus 170 though. Is the best number I see on Bet365. I don't want to lay that juice for Angel Reese to get a double, but yeah, she should absolutely get a double today. I see minus 240 though on ESPN Bet, so definitely shop around. I'm never laying a minus 240. I'm not even playing the 170 on Bet365, but I guess you could use it as a parlay piece. Bet365 got the best odds for that for people who are looking for Angel Reese double. Minus 240 is crazy. Let's see. All praise pick says leaning total game under in this one. Seems like the Sky will force up bad shots against the Lynx defense. Like you mentioned, Chris, Lynx could win scoring less than 80. Yeah, they could. But the problem with that, though, all praise picks is that the Sky actually play fast. The Sky are third in pace over the last 5 games, fourth in pace over the full season. The Lynx are the team that play slow. They 10th in pace. Last 5, 11th in pace, which is second slowest over the full season. So 2 contrasting styles typically makes me want to stay off. Let's see. Rob says win, lose, or draw. The Sky been cashing for me. I'm gonna have to continue rocking with them. Yeah, they didn't cover in the last game though, Rob. So hopefully you weren't on them. It's down to 7. Larry says more life. Sway says I like the Sky first half. They usually start off competing. They do, and then they kind of run out of gas late. I agree with you there. Lynx line dropped to 7. Let's see. If Asia Wilson can be held to 11 points versus the Mystics, Angel Reese definitely can be held to less than 10 points versus the number 1 Lynx defense. Praise Pick says, I guess. Yeah, they do play a little bit slower, so it should be less opportunities, I guess, if you're looking at it from that perspective, all Praise Picks. I try to look at everything with the glass half empty and half full. Kennedy Sniper, Marco says, yeah, she is a snapper. I mean, I think he meant sniper, but yeah, she's both. Joseph says he's taking Kayla McBride 3 threes at plus 122. Makes a lot of sense based off the numbers I just read. Zach says Cardoso double sounds like the value play in the Lynx give up so many boards. The only question for me is 10 points if the Lynx are so good defensively. Angel assists could also be decent depending on the line. Yeah, I think I agree with most of that, Zach. I struggle with Cardoso so raw offensively. That's why I struggle with Cardoso. Like she misses so many bunnies at the rim. Like once she get her footing right, like I like her as a player. She plays hard, but offensively, man, I think if you've been taking her points under, you probably made a lot of cash because she really struggles to score, even though she's the biggest person on the floor. She'll get better though. She will get better for sure. She's just raw right now. She kind of unpolished. When she gets her footwork right, get some offensive, skill set, it'll be easier for her to get doubles. I'll say that. Let them ride says I want to lean under here, but just feel like the Lynx gonna beat the brakes off of them and get over their team total. They could, which is why I stayed off as well. I think 86.5 is a lot of points though, especially when they've been playing so slow. If we look at the Lynx on the road. Lynx on the road. Let's see if they're over or under team. 5-3 straight up, 6-2 against the number. They are averaging 88 points, giving up 80 points. So winning by right at this margin, right at 8. Winning the first quarter by average of 3.3. They have gone over in 3 straight games. They've actually gone over their team total in 3 straight games. I do remember somebody saying this as well. The Lynx are actually, their offense plays better on the road than it does at home. So that gives me some hesitation towards the under as well. They've actually gone over their team total in every game so far this season on the road, except the game against the Mercury, where Kalia Copper hit their game winner. In that game, they went 3 points under their team total, only scoring 80. But their offense on the road, 88 points versus the Wings, 94 points versus Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup game. They scored 100 versus the Aces. They scored 86 versus the Sparks, 92 versus the Dream, 82 versus the Sun, and 83 versus the Storm. So they are a high-scoring team. And more recently, they've been scoring 100, 94, and 88 in their last 3 games on the road. That gives me some hesitation as well if I really like the under in this game. Sky and home. So the Sky at home, 5-4 to the over. 4 of their last 5 games have actually gone over as well. And they can't stop anybody. So yeah, I'm wrong. I'm definitely wrong about looking at towards the under. Well, I didn't really like the under too much, but if I think the Lynx gonna play defense, maybe a Sky team total under. So the Sky at home have actually allowed 5 of their last 6 opponents to go over their team total. The Wings are the only team that didn't go over their team total. And that was I think that was the camp day game. We were on the Sky in that game, and that was the game that Arike Agumbawale was listed as questionable, and she ended up playing, but they were down bad by everybody else. The Sky just gave up 95 to the Aces, 87 to the Fever, 83 to the Sun, 89 to the Dream, 88 to the Liberty. So yeah, all of these teams went over their team total. 5 of their last 6 opponents have actually gone over their team total. 4 of their last 5 opponents have actually gone over their team total. So some live capping here. You guys can't see it, but I'm glad you mentioned this, Let 'em Ride, because this definitely makes me look a little bit more towards maybe Lynx live if they do struggle early. For whatever reason, they do play well early though. The Sky actually only lose the first quarter by 1 point. They win in the second quarter by an average of 3. And then their offense falls off a cliff in the second half. They only average 36 points in the second half, losing the third quarter by 4, losing the fourth quarter by 1. So they're -5 in the second half, but they're +2 in the first half in their 9 home games so far. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Lane says, yeah, I think Collier's gonna play though. She is listed as probable. Like, it's not like she's questionable. Says if Carlton starts for the Lynx, her threes could be a good play. Yeah, absolutely. Bridget Carlton can stretch the floor for sure. Dropping Dime says contrasting styles, but this spot is Lynx. The spot for the Lynx can't be overlooked, and I agree with that as well. It's a bounce back spot for the Lynx. Larry says he likes the under 163. Jay likes Kayla McBride to go over 2.5 threes. Bridget Carlton to go over her 2.5 threes. What you like better, Chris? Don't ask me, Jay. Because the reason why I say don't ask me is because the Lynx share the ball so well. Kayla McBride gonna shoot the shot. She just got to make them. Bridget Carlton also probably gonna get the looks. So I would go in and just see who's shooting the ball, a little bit more is the way I would look. Yeah, I could see both. Maybe you play both. Maybe you just whatever you was gonna bet on it, you bet half on both. And both of them potentially could get there. Yeah, I didn't really look too deep though, so I want to give you anything on that, Jay. But maybe who shot the ball worse in the last game too. Let's see how we feels about Bridget Carlton over 11.5 points for plus money. Couldn't talk you off. And Cardoso misses free throws. She misses a ton of free throws. I'm glad you mentioned this, more life. She misses a ton of free throws. She missed one to help us catch the under in one of those games. Angel Reese double 2-leg parlay with Tina Charles over 22.5 points plus rebounds is plus 171. Bruce says. Next bet says the first game Cardoso got full minutes. FanDuel had a special for her to get 10 points at plus 650, and I regret it so badly not taking that. Caught my eye. What up to my guy Flo? He says Elena Smith and Courtney Williams return to Chicago. I forgot about this. I wonder if they have extra juice today. Man, what is Courtney Williams? What is her assist line? She be diamond. Courtney Williams, real quick. So glad he mentioned this. Shout out to my guy Flo, man. 5.5 is plus money for Courtney Williams. 5.5 assists is plus money for Courtney Williams. Man, I'm gonna have to look this up off the stream because I don't want to go too long. But Courtney Williams, real quick. She's coming off a 4-assist game versus the Dallas Wings. She only played 19 minutes in that game. She had 4 turnovers too, which is almost a season high. She had 8 assists against the New York Liberty, 6 assists against the Atlanta Hawks. She only had 4 against the Mercury, 10 against the Sparks, 9 against the Aces. I think Courtney Williams over 5.5 assists is a pretty good look. Shout out to my guy Flo, man. Shout out to my guy Flo. As far as Elena Smith, I mean, we talk about motivation and, wanting to keep the team off the glass. I think she'll be highly motivated going back playing against those 2 rookies today. don't get it twisted. Fee is definitely the better rebounder on the team, the best rebounder on the team. But Elena Smith, I mean, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned this, Flo. I forgot all about them going back to Chicago today, and the game being in Chicago. Yeah, that's a interesting plot twist there. Like it a lot. Shout out to my guy Flo. Sincerely says going Carter under her points. I can't take Kennedy Carter under her points just because she is their offense. She's definitely their offense. I don't even know where her line set at, but she is their offense. Her, Marina Mabry, that is the whole offense. Yeah, like All Praise Pick said, great point by Flo here. Jamrock Kick says, I think I'm only betting totals and spreads in the WNBA live, can always catch a better number. And I kind of felt like that yesterday as well, man. I definitely kind of felt like that. So we went over this game. This was more like a live cap game. Appreciate everybody for, sticking around and, trying to figure out a way to bet it. I think just with everything that we said, though, just a quick recap on this game. I think I like the Lynx early, and I think I had that written down in my short list as well. Lynx early, even though the Sky have been, really feisty at home, just a bounce back spot. And I really struggle with seeing how the Sky are going to slow down the Lynx offense, especially after looking at those 3-point numbers, defensive 3-point numbers for the Sky. Should be a bounce back spot for the Lynx here. So getting to a quick recap, I played Atlanta and New York over the 165.5. That number is come back down. It's 166. I like it there. It's some 155 and 165.5 out there as well. So I do like that. I think the Atlanta Dream will be able to contribute offensively. Don't think that they're gonna be able to slow down New York's offense. So I like the total up and over. Remember, I said that New York in their 10 home games are 8-2 to the over. And I think it's 6 straight games that's going over the total. I also like, I didn't add this on the list and I didn't play it yet, but I like Atlanta plus the points as well. Plus 16 I see out there right now. This happens especially on the weekend. Every game, the Liberty are home favorite, land double digits, and the line gets worse. They land 14, it goes to 15. They land 15, it goes to 16. And they've covered 1 out of 10 games at home. I know Atlanta hasn't been that great, but I like Jordan Canada. Like I said at the top of the show, her kind of getting acclimated. Hopefully, Tanisha Wright doesn't do anything too crazy, with her minutes, and hopefully she just plays more. But I like New York. I do like Atlanta plus the 15. I had already written down Lynx because I thought it was a bounce back spot, but I do like them minus the 4. Probably stay away from that game as far as the total goes, but I do kind of get Minnesota team total over vibes the more I looked into it, with the 3-point shooting, the 3-point defense of the Chicago Sky struggling, and with the pace that Chicago plays at. Remember I said they played the 3rd fastest pace, so that kind of gives me Minnesota team total over vibes, but I don't know if I'll get there with that. And then Phoenix minus the 7.5. That is something that I'm looking towards. That number is pretty much gone. Maybe some 7.5 still out there. I think we all missed the boat on the total if we got in late now at 175, but I think it could be a little bit of an under game now. Total is a little too high, a little too rich for my blood, but I think Indiana could struggle to score. Like I said, Aaliyah Boston, having to score down there against Brittany Griner, and Caitlin Clark's gonna have Natasha Cloud smothered on her today. Even though I think she's gonna shoot the ball more because Christy Sykes called her out for it. It could be really difficult, I think. Also got to remember, Indiana playing at the 9th fastest pace, so they're playing super slow right now. I think a little bit more towards the under if I'm being sharp and not, just wanting to play the total because I got in so late or will be getting in so late right now. I think I would be looking a little bit more towards the under. So those are my thoughts. Talked out a lot of this with you guys on the show. Only one play so far. Probably end up adding some, at least a couple more. Because I hate giving out one play and, that one play loses, but all the other ones hit like it has been happening. But that's what I'm liking for today, man. That's what I'm liking for today. So resources here, I used the moneyballer.com while I was doing the show. Definitely check those guys out over there. One-stop sports betting database with stats, statistics, situational spots, all the good stuff that you need to handicap the MLB, the NBA, the WNBA. And I always want to shout out OddsJam as well. You can get 25% off your first month using code CBC if you guys are interested over there. The link for that is in the description. if you guys are interested. And the link for all my official plays are also in the description. If you guys found the show helpful, if you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Share the show, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Always bet responsibly. Best of luck on all your action, and we will be back tomorrow. We got 2 games, Dallas and Seattle, Connecticut and Phoenix. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy your Sunday. I'm out.